Lamb, Western Washington. Right now, we're tracking delays, cancellations, collisions, and water main breaks across the state.
We're expecting a quarter inch of freezing rain, so that's just about the most treacherous conditions you can imagine.
Buses, nobody should be out when it's like this. This is ridiculous.
We got here early enough. It's just, the lines are insane.
We weren't able to get enough of the bags out onto aircraft as fast as possible.
Our news and weather departments are watching the timeline for the system moving in and everything you need to know to stay safe. King 5 News at 6:30 starts right now.
It is frigid across Western Washington. A live look across the Puget Sound region tonight. Today's highs barely above 20 degrees.
And here's a look at the temperatures in our area right now. Tonight's lows are expected to drop well into the teens. Right now, these temperatures are very bad news for those living in the San Juan Islands. Thanks for choosing King 5. I'm Madison Wade.
I'm Joyce Taylor. Good evening. Orcus Power and Light reporting a county-wide outage, meaning every island and almost every customer across the San Juan Islands is without power this hour. We're told this is due to an issue here on the mainland. And in just the last 30 minutes, we were told that there is no estimate on when this power is going to be restored. So these temperatures also causing trouble with the water supply. We're tracking at least 2 water main breaks. The first, this one in Olympia. Water service is now restored after a main break in the Briarwood subdivision. And this was the scene on I-5 earlier this afternoon. Seattle Public Utilities saying that this break happened near Olive Way and Melrose Avenue. The water was restored about 1 this afternoon.
Other parts of the interstate had to get icicles removed. Washington State Patrol shared this video of those icicles getting chipped off under the convention center. And tomorrow is a first alert day.
We're going to get to how this freezing rain, the snow, the cold temperatures are all impacting holiday travel in about 90 seconds. But first, the bigger picture. Let's bring in our meteorologist, Mike Everett, with that. Mike.
Hi, Joyce. So first of all, we're going to start off with these cold temperatures and the current wind chill. For folks out towards the San Juans, when you take the temperature and then you add that northwest or northeasterly wind that we've had on top of that, it feels like 17 degrees out there right now. It is very cold, and that is a very dangerous situation out there. Now, this is all about to change. We've got a system moving in that will warm things up this weekend. But first, there will be an epic battle taking place tonight into Friday afternoon. We're talking snow, sleet, and freezing rain. So the impacts here will be dangerous travel conditions, especially on Friday morning, down limbs and power lines, in addition to what we're already experiencing now, and the additional power outages that are possible. Now take a look at this, an epic battle setting up across the Pacific Northwest. In fact, we're going to be right in the middle of that. This cold, dry air that's very stubborn, refuses to move, is going to meet up with this warm and wet air that's going to battle right over top of it. So we talk a lot about freezing rain. What is it? Well, basically, when you've got water falling through a relatively warm patch of air, it goes down into that cold air and then freezes on contact. So what we're looking at is the potential for some of that to actually freeze on contact when it hits a lot of things like trees and power lines. We'll talk about how long this lasts before it all switches over to rain, coming up in your full forecast just minutes away.
All right, Mike, we'll check back in shortly. To holiday travel now. Today is the busiest travel day for the Christmas holiday. A live look at SeaTac Airport, the waterfront where the Bainbridge and Bremerton ferries come into dock, and the roads in Linwood. Beginning at the airport, nearly 400 flights leaving SeaTac have been impacted by the weather today. The airport is reporting about 50 cancellations so far. Another 350 flights are delayed. Now, these cancellations and these delays weren't the only issue at the airport today.
So the north end of the airport got overloaded with a high number of checked bags. King 5's Connor Board has the latest on that from SeaTac.
Today is the busiest day expected at SeaTac Airport this week, and not only have there been a high number of people, there's also been a high number of bags throughout the morning and throughout midday today. There was actually such a high number of people checking bags that it overloaded the system.
Too many checked bags for SeaTac Airport to handle.
Let's just label these heavy.
Led to numerous issues for passengers.
I mean, it's just absolute craziness. There's insanity.
Passenger Alicia Meaner was shocked to see how long the ticketing lines were as the counters were overloaded with bags.
And it's like, even if you can maybe catch your flight, by the grace of time, your bag probably won't make it at this point.
That is exactly what happened to passenger Annalie Weatherhead, who is headed to Cabo.
We saw that there were, I don't know, 50, 60, maybe 100 luggage in front of all the ticket agents.
She said the agent told her she should not expect her bags in Cabo today.
But she reassured us that they would take care of us and that they would FedEx our luggage wherever it was to wherever we were going to be.
Right now, we're seeing a lot of lines in the ticketing area.
Perry Cooper with SeaTac Airport said the issue spurred from the high volume of checked bags. He said they could not get bags loaded onto planes quick enough, which caused bags to pile up on the carousel between ticketing and the plane.
We actually stop the input from those ticket counters, and then we call portage. We will portage those bags to another input location so that they can get into a space that's not as jammed up.
He said if you can avoid checking, you can get through much faster when these issues happen, but that they are trying to prevent this from happening tomorrow.
If you can do carry-ons, you're better off now, right, at this point.
But for those who were stuck in long ticketing lines today, they were just hoping for the best.
Worried about, maybe our bags not making it. Luckily, we have TSA pre-check, so that's probably our saving grace.
The bag volume is now back to average levels, and as you heard, the airport is trying to make a plan to prevent this from happening again tomorrow. And the airport spokesperson also said it's a good idea in these situations to have your bag labeled on the outside so the airline can effectively contact you just in case. Reporting at SeaTac Airport, Connor Board, King 5 News.
Now to breaking news happening in Linwood. South Snohomish County Fire just told us that there is a gas leak in the area. You can see a lot of flashing lights off of 196th Street Southwest and 24th Avenue West. We are waiting for a call back to learn more details about what is going on. Again, a gas leak happening in Linwood. We'll continue to keep you updated on air and online at king5.com. Well, travel on the passes is proving dangerous tonight. No restrictions for drivers on Snoqualmie Pass. Westbound lanes were closed for several hours today because of crashes there. Once again, those are open.
On Stevens Pass, traction tires are required. Chains are required for larger vehicles. Let's take a live look now at the traffic across the passes tonight. Those red and yellow indicators that you see here on these maps showing you the slowed or the stopped traffic right now. In the lowlands, the Washington State Patrol says it has responded to more than 160 calls in just the past 24 hours. And that's just in King County. That includes crashes, spinouts, disabled vehicles as well. King County Metro activating its emergency snow network, and that means reduced bus service tomorrow. King 5's Natalie Swaby reports from Seattle.
I'm here at the intersection of Finney Avenue and 68th Street, and it is streets like this that the county is concerned about. You can see neighbors even put out a sign warning drivers about all of the ice, and King County Metro says they expect conditions like this to be even worse and more widespread tomorrow. The frigid temperatures have brought a familiar sight to this neighborhood.
This is very normal, unfortunately.
Kristen Anderson says near her house, the road is more like an ice skating rink, putting some drivers in a difficult spot.
He just couldn't get enough juice going, and then there was a garbage truck that got stuck behind him.
With side streets like this, King County Metro was going into emergency mode, according to Sean Hawks.
Tonight's going to get really bad, and we're expecting a 1/4 inch of freezing rain, so that's just about the most treacherous conditions you can imagine.
With that weather on the way, the county is activating the emergency snow network. It means a reduction in service from about 160 routes to only 65 core bus routes operated.
We do this when the road conditions absolutely demand it. When we have snow and we have ice, we actually move all of our buses to snow routes. So they're going to avoid the biggest hills, and there's a lot of hills around King County.
The county has put a warning about the route disruptions on its website, and out here, neighbors are warning each other.
It's like pinball. Cars come down and they just hit the other cars and just wait till they get to the bottom. Buses, nobody should be out when it's like this. This is ridiculous.
She says she's already bracing for tomorrow.
This intersection will look way worse. I'm just going to stay here and wait till the warmer temps come and the ice washes away.
Metro is encouraging people to avoid traveling if possible. The county's emergency snow network is expected to be a one-day event. It will take effect tomorrow starting at 4 a.m. In Seattle, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
Let's go down to the waterfront now. Washington state ferries are mostly running on time right now, but the cold temperatures are affecting a few of our terminals. Right now, overhead loading is closed at the Anacortes ferry terminals because of slippery conditions, and frozen pipes means that there's no running water in the restrooms at the Fauntleroy terminals.
Tacoma, there is one neighborhood there in need of extra assistance tonight.
Yeah, the city is taking some extra steps to keep those living by the water safe this holiday weekend. King 5's Lionel Donovan joins us live from Foss Harbor Marina tonight.
Good evening, Joyce and Madison. Well, today I got a chance to hear about Tacoma's liveaboard community that's set up right here at Foss Harbor Marina. I had the chance to speak with one of the managers about some of the unique challenges when it comes to keeping people warm. The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm warning, and Caleb Marion says he's ready. Marion is part of Tacoma's liveaboard community, a group of around 110 people who live on their boats at the Foss Harbor Marina.
It's nice to live aboard.
Marion says this is his 6th winter living on a boat, and although it's not the coldest, it seems like one of the longest.
You tend to get ice chunks in the salt water when it gets really cold. But this is up there with one of the longest streaks I've seen where it stayed below freezing.
Which is why Marion says it's vital to prepare early.
Running a boat even in the summertime, you're managing your water supply and your electricity and things like that. So when the cold weather comes, you just push that forward. You have to do things ahead of time a lot more.
The marina's manager, Taryn Todd, hopes Marion's neighbors will hear that message.
I don't feel like an employee at the marina. I feel like part of the family here.
Todd makes sure the marina's liveaboard community have the necessities to endure the cold.
Toilets and showers.
The marina had their portable water line shut off at the dock since Monday to keep them from freezing. But now people are starting to run low.
We've had to arrange running hoses down to our fuel docks so they can move their boat over to fill up if they need. We have a few tenants that have actually gotten large water bladders or water containers, and they're just walking back and forth to get their water tanks filled up.
Getting electricity is also an issue on the water, since many of the boats aren't built for cold weather and need to be heated. Todd says the marina is finding ways to manage the energy output and provides facilities on the docks for people to shower if needed. But Todd suggests it might be a better idea to avoid these issues altogether if you can.
Go stay a night in the hotel. You can relax, you can stay warm, you don't have to stress over what's going on. Always a smart decision if you can do it.
Pierce County Emergency Management says its top priority is making sure that everyone, whether they're living in the water or on land, is safe and warm. The agency is encouraging people to make sure that they have emergency supplies ready, and if they can, to stay home to wait out the cold. But for now, we're live in Tacoma. Lionel Donovan, King 5 News.
The power completely out on San Juan Islands right now. That power went out nearly 2 hours ago. No word on when it's going to be restored.
And coming up, we're going to hear from someone living on the island trying to stay warm right now. A live interview with him in just 2 minutes. We'll be right back.